capacity. They converted an old spool and bobbin mill into a manufacturing plant. Jerry made the ice cream, and Ben trucked it across the state in an old VW wagon. Now, their business grew. They added employees and started to make money. But it was exhausting. Both Ben and Jerry were working 16-hour days, 7 days a week.
Jerry and I looked at ourselves one day and we said, you know, what's going on here? You know, we're no longer ice cream men, we're becoming businessmen.
It seemed like that I was never really getting on top of things, that I was always scrambling to keep up.
In 1982, when Elizabeth was accepted into a graduate school in Arizona, Jerry decided to sell most of his share of the company so he could leave with her. Jerry was burnt out, and Ben faced a tough decision.
For over a century, the Coca-Cola Company has stood as the most iconic enterprise in the history of American business. Now, go inside the beverage giant as it battles new competition and goes around the globe to satisfy consumers' thirst for the world's #1 soft drink. Discover the secrets behind the best-known product on the planet. Saliba reports Coca-Cola, the real story behind the real thing. November 11th on CNBC, first in business worldwide.
Nothing matches that dentist level of clean. But imagine if you could get that dentist smooth clean feeling every time you brush at home. You can with Oral-B rechargeable brushes. Dentist-inspired cupping action surrounds each tooth to remove up to twice as much plaque as a regular manual brush. The power of a dentist smooth clean feeling every day. Oral-B rechargeable brushes starting at $22. Satisfaction guaranteed. Visit oralb.com for details. Reimagined. Re-inspired. Reinvigorated. All designed to reignite the soul. The all-new 2010 SRX. The Cadillac of crossovers.
There you go. The Hernandez says, you're automatically getting a price assurance check from Orbitz because another customer booked your hotel for a lower price. How's he doing? I don't want to look.
I can go to a movie on a school night. Like that.
In a theater? You should come over to my place. I get all the hottest movies in 1080p.
Would you like some red rope licorice?
Get theater quality picture and sound. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Would you like a pony?
Yeah.
Would you like a pony?
Yeah.
Here you go. This is for you.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't say you could have a real one.
Well, you didn't ask.
Even kids know it's wrong to hold out on somebody. Why don't banks? We're Ally, a new bank that alerts you when your money can be working harder and earning more. It's just the right thing to do.
In 1982, in Burlington, Vermont, the future of Ben & Jerry's homemade ice cream was up in the air. After his longtime friend and partner Jerry Greenfield moved to Arizona, Ben Cohen was faced with running the company alone or selling it. Then Ben turned to area restaurateur Maurice Purpura for advice.
I said, Maurice, you know what business does. It's harmful to the environment. It's harmful to its employees. He said, Ben, if there's something you don't like about business, why don't you just do it different? And that hadn't really occurred to me before.
Ben wanted the business to reflect his personal values.
And it was taking those very strong, progressive values and thinking about them all the time as the company was making decisions. So they were incorporated in the product, in the packaging, in the salary ratios between top and bottom people in an organization.
While Ben was running the company with his own principles in mind, Jerry would pitch in and help when he was in town.
I would come back to Vermont in the summers. I wanted to spend time with my friends, and it turns out the people I was friends with were working at Ben & Jerry's. So I would do volunteer work at the company.
By 1984, distribution was expanding throughout New England. This created a new problem, keeping up with demand. But expansion required more money, lots of it, Most investors were interested in profit, not social responsibility, and Ben wanted to protect the values he'd instilled in the company.
Typically, when a business is at that stage, they turn to venture capitalists and sell off a significant chunk of the business. But Ben has a real aversion to the venture capitalists because he sees them as a threat to him being able to run the business the way he wants to run it.
Ben came up with an idea. To raise money, he would have a statewide public stock offering. The people of Vermont would be part owners of Ben & Jerry's.
It's classic Ben. I mean, he's thinking outside the box. He's not deterred by other people, so-called experts, telling him that he doesn't know what he's doing.
It was a very conscious decision to share the wealth so that as the business prospered, the community would automatically prosper.
The stock purchase price was set low at $10.50 a share, with a minimum buy of 12 shares. The public was urged to get a scoop of the action. Ben, Jerry, and CEO Fred Lager hit the road to campaign for the sale.
Ben, Jerry, and I set out all around the state of Vermont and basically meet with people and show them this new plant that we're expecting to build in Waterbury, Vermont, and get them to send us their money.
It worked. The community did become the owners of the business. 1 in every 100 Vermont families own some stock in Ben & Jerry's.
By the cutoff date, July 2nd, 1984, 17.5% of the company had been sold. The company had $750,000 to help pay for a new manufacturing plant.
I think for the huge majority of people, they were investing in the company because they wanted to support the company and what it stood for, not because they thought they had the chance to make a lot of money.
Ben & Jerry's homemade ice cream was becoming well known in New England. It caught the attention of one of their competitors.
Ben and I sitting around the office one day, and he got a call from one of our distributors in Boston. The VP of Haagen-Dazs was telling this independent distributor that if they continued to sell Ben & Jerry's ice cream, that they were going to stop selling them Haagen-Dazs. We thought that what Haagen-Dazs was doing was illegal. And we did a little research, and it turns out, that what they were doing was a violation of the antitrust laws.
Ben & Jerry's found out Haagen-Dazs was part of the food giant Pillsbury, a corporation worth an estimated $4 billion. Ben & Jerry's couldn't afford a legal battle with such a big company. But they could fight in the court of public opinion, with the help of Jerry.
I got a call from Ben asking me if I would like the opportunity to become a one-person picket line in front of the Pillsbury World Headquarters in Minneapolis. It was an opportunity I could not pass up.
Jerry launched a solo media blitz. He called the newspapers and radio and TV stations, then marched on Pillsbury headquarters. With a sign that read, "What's the doughboy afraid of?" Jerry presented himself as the hard-working underdog. He passed out leaflets and gave interviews criticizing the company's tactics. Jerry even tried to get into corporate headquarters.
I was received by the public very well. I was received by the media enthusiastically, and I was courteously tossed out of the Pillsbury World Headquarters.
Jerry became the face of the little guy in danger of being swallowed up by big business.
It was a classic David and Goliath story.
The story didn't end there. Ben & Jerry's printed "What's the doughboy afraid of?" on pints of their ice cream and listed a doughboy hotline number.
And then we would send them this doughboy write-in kit where they could send a letter to the chairman of the board of Pillsbury, effectively telling them to pick on someone his own side.
Several newspapers picked up the story. Ben & Jerry's simple but shrewd one-man battle with Pillsbury evolved into a brilliant public relations victory.
We have no national brand recognition, and now we're becoming a national brand because we're getting all this national publicity.
Ben & Jerry's stunts put intense public pressure on Pillsbury. The food giant caved in and withdrew its attempt to limit Ben & Jerry's distribution. It was a triumph